Сайн байцгаана уу хүнд үзэгчтэй. Өнөөдөр ороо манай de facto нэвтрүүлгийг бид Лондон хотын the City of London хотын дарга Lord Mayor Gifford хийж байна.
Рожер Гиффорд Лондоны Сити дүүргийн 685 дахь Лорд захирагч 2012 оны 9 дугаар сараас хойш энэ албан тушаалыг хажиж байгаа. 1955 онд төрсэн эхнэр 5 хүүхэдтэй 2004 онд Лондоны Сити дүүргийн захиргааны зөвлөлийн гишүүн болсон. 2008-аас 2009 онд Лондоны Сити дүүргийн шерифээр ажилласан. Оксфордын Trinity коллежийг мастер зэрэгтээ төгссөн. Олон улсын банк санхүүгийн зах зээлийн чиглэлээр мэргэшсэн.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So you are the Lord Mayor of the City of the London, which is inside of the London.
Correct.
Please tell us about the difference and the history of the City of London.
Okay. I mean, the City of London is where London was originally founded by the Romans, or even before, on the banks of the River Thames. And it grew as a trading centre and as an international port for centuries before London as a whole, as we know it today, grew up. So the cities of Westminster and the villages of Hampstead and Highgate and Chelsea, which were then absorbed into Greater London over the last 200 years. During that period, the City of London has always been the very heart, the oldest part of London itself. Today it's very much the financial district where the banks and the insurance companies, the lawyers and the accountants have their offices. And there are very few residents in the City of London today, the square mile as they call it. But it is where the majority of the businesses are located.
You are the mayor of the City of London, where 9,000 or so inhabitants live,
Yes.
but about 400,000 people come to work every day.
That's right.
Should be the most unique mayor in the world.
Maybe.
How
We
does
also
it
live
work?
it works because the town council that runs the City of London is called the City of London Corporation. And that is a unique municipality to the extent that it has over centuries amassed a degree of property and of assets of its own, which helped the enormous charity and the enormous input that it gives back into society, because the City of London Corporation is a major funder of the arts and a major funder, keeper of the open spaces around London. So the fact that it has this the ability to fund many external programs is because of many centuries of saving up funds, and I think that in itself makes it a unique authority, a unique city authority.
London is being the most largest money market center in the world. And it is staying in that way for many years, and it is still the center. What is the secret of keeping that?
I think the ability to change is very important, and the openness to change. I think we learnt many years ago that to be adaptable, to be flexible, to be very welcoming to foreign influences and foreign investors is very important for London's development. Today, I think it's 270 different nationalities. It's 300 different languages are spoken in London. I think more than half of London is not traditional white British. So you have a huge proportion of people living here who are from abroad, who are international. And that gives London great strength and great diversity. We have every religion in the world living here side by side. And that tolerance, that diversity is part of its strength.
And this free market environment, the very attraction of foreign direct investment to work and to live, the corporate and the conditions, the business environment. Why everybody is coming here? You have all major banks and staying here.
Well, maybe we've been a bit lucky, but also maybe we've been a little bit clever by being very open to international influence. I think we've had certain great advantages, like English language, which is now essentially the world's kind of most common business language, and that has played very much to London's strength. In addition to which, we do have a very open society. If you look at the British manufacturing industry, for instance, at cars, most of the car industry is owned by foreign hands and is very successful. The Japanese and Indian owners of the car businesses have made a great success, and we export some 80% of the cars we now produce. So that openness has been a key part of the
Speaking about foreign direct investment, India, the former colony of the country, is coming back, investing into the economy, and investing a lot, so that they make also, where they invest also the industry, for example, the Land Rover, more competitive. I mean, what is the sentiment of people towards that sort of relations? Developing countries come, take over your asset. How your people find it?
Well, I think it's a very positive attitude, as you've seen, because we welcome jobs and we welcome the income that comes with prosperity. I'd also point out there are 250 foreign banks in London. There's a UK
and
banking
all of them
sector.
Are in your city.
All of them from London, yes. Yeah. So 250 foreign banks based in London. And so it's a huge international banking community. There's also a huge number of lawyers from overseas are practicing here as well.
Yeah, with the bankers, the exact lawyers and other logistics staff comes, and it makes a bigger and more expensive place and city, and also good revenue. In terms of size, would you please elaborate a bit about the size of City of London, Greater London, the weight of the City of London in the general economy of the United Kingdom?
I think the City of London represents the financial and professional services sector, and that has grown in the UK from some 5% of GDP up to something like around 10% of GDP now. So it's doubled in the last 13 years. So the City of London, which is acting as an international, a global hub for businesses, has many businesses here which are not related to the UK economy. They're related to international economy, but based out of London. So it might be trade finance between China and Africa, or it might be an international merger business between France and America, but the business is happening through London, nothing related to the British economy as such. So it's quite hard to measure exactly what the proportion, the size of that is, but it's clearly very important. And as I say, financial services have come up to nearly 10% of GDP. If you add on professional services, law and accounting, it adds up for another 4.5% of GDP on top of that. So clearly these are very important for the United Kingdom as a whole. As we said earlier, the city itself has very few residents, but it has many businesses that come in from the other London boroughs to work here.
I mean, a developing country in Africa or in Asia, when they make a contract with each other, when the issue of disputes comes, they are referring to London, the court, arbitration court in London.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, English law is very well respected, it's very strong, and it's been around for hundreds of years. You could say we've been getting it wrong for hundreds of years by correcting it constantly. And I do believe that the English law system, which is based on case law, which means that you're constantly improving your judgments as you go forward, is a very, very strong system. And that's why we've seen many other countries around the world have adopted this type of legal system.
So when any dispute comes, it will be first of all look back at the similar case.
Precedent, yes.
And it will come from that proceedings of the previous proceeding.
That's right, and that's how English case law is built up. And so I think it's a very strong system because it's very human. When something changes, when facts change, when situations change, and it makes a new court case, we learn from that and move forward. That's the theory, and I think in practice it's been very attractive to many countries.
Lord Mayor, you are this beautiful hall, and this whole house is your residence as well. Please tell us about this beautiful building.
The building was built in 1752. It was built to entertain and to impress. So there are many, many events happen here, which are either business groups or it might be international groups of people coming, where we entertain or where other people entertain their colleagues. And the idea is that it should be a very attractive venue for people to come. It represents what is very beautiful about London, about the United Kingdom. And I should immediately point out that most of the art here is not British art. It's a lot of it is Dutch and Flemish art. But that's in keeping with the style of the house, which, as I say, is about 260 years old now.
You live on the top of the building, or how? Your offices are also here.
The offices are just here to the back, and we have an apartment upstairs. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, the whole this arts full of this house, the mansion, the property of the City of London.
Yes. And
in that sense, you were earlier mentioning about the corporation. Please tell us about this unique structure that probably, at the end we say also government should be a good corporation. Any government, like Inc.,
Yes,
it should
yes.
work. How do you find it, this corporation system?
Well, it's grown up over many centuries. The Lord Mayor himself is the position is about 800 years old, and the City of London Corporation is equally many hundreds of years old. But it's not so dissimilar from most other town councils around the United Kingdom in its structure. The number of councilmen are appointed by public election, and a bit unusually, the corporation has 25 aldermen who are also elected from the voters in the individual wards around the city. There are 25 wards, so there are 25 aldermen. There are 100 common councilmen.
Sort of a council.
It's a council. It's called the Court of Common Council.
And they nominate you, or they elect you, or how does it work?
From the alderman is chosen every year a sheriff, and once an alderman has been a sheriff, he is then able to be nominated to become Lord Mayor.
Sheriff is in the classical term, sheriff.
The classical term,
policeman, or what is that?
The sheriff's ancient position is to maintain law and order, and there are still of this historical position. We still maintain two sheriffs at the Central Criminal Court here, called the Old Bailey, who's quite famous in trials for.
You have own court.
Our own court. It's called the Old Bailey. It's
Wow.
called the Old Bailey. It's a very ancient court, and many criminals have been through that. It's particularly trying for murder and rape and similar crimes.
And also, it has a lot to do with the tradition of making free people, free men, livery.
The livery companies are a separate body, so the old trade guilds. It's actually quite a complicated picture overall, but it's very, very interesting. You can find it out on the website too. But the 108 livery companies of the City of London represent the ancient trade guilds, groups of people who came together to better their trade and to improve the practices that they were undertaking, whether it was in metalwork, or it might have been in banking, or it might have been in clothes manufacture, or in shoe manufacture, or in spectacle makers. These livery companies were formed of people who wanted to get together and improve what they were doing. They bring apprentices through the system to try and encourage new people to come into the trade, and they remain a very important part of the makeup of the City of London.
This business world traditionally make sure that they have an environment where they do their business, things go predictably, and they have created this council aldermen, and they confirm your position. You are elected, right?
I'm elected. The aldermen are elected by the voters in each ward, and it's the liverymen who elect one of the aldermen to become a sheriff every year, and it's the liverymen who choose two people who have been sheriff, two aldermen who have been sheriff, to become Lord Mayor. It's quite complicated.
Quite complicated.
Quite complicated, but it's logical, and it's been happening like that many years.
The City of London is under the jurisdiction of the United Kingdom. They following
the
that
City
law.
the City of London Corporation is one of the London boroughs, which is then within the London framework,
Yes.
which has the Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, as its head.
You are also a CEO of that corporation?
No, I'm an alderman, so I'm a councilman of the City of London Corporation. Yes, the town council here.
That corporation, in the sense, is a business. Also, is consisting of shareholders, or how does it work?
No, it's a town council with the Common Council.
Are you called
Yes.
the town council as a corporation?
That's correct. It's called the City of London Corporation, but it is the town council effectively.
Does that mean that you will be also consisting? You will be supported, or your revenues coming from taxes of these companies who are living who is working in the City of London?
Rents are collected from buildings, and rates are collected from the businesses. They then are funding the programme the City of London Corporation has, most of which is being sent back to the Mayor of London, to the overall head of London, for roads, for sewage, and for the police and other issues. Within the corporation, the City of London Corporation, which has, as I mentioned, its own assets and has developed its own property over many years, it is then using that to fund many cultural institutions, the green spaces that we have around London, like Hampstead Heath, and many other good works, and many other things that are vital for society to thrive.
So you are owning, other than this City Mile place, also another property outside of other places in
Yes,
London.
That's right.
And you are running it for the benefit of the whole greater city.
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
It has been evolving for hundreds of years, and so it is inevitably complicated, but it works. So we're reasonably happy with how it works.
Lord Mayor, what is your professional career? Banker.
As a banker by training, yes.
And I mean, you have been working in the city
Yes.
before.
Yes, for,
many
for
years.
40 years.
40 years. And what makes you to be decide to be the mayor?
It's a very, very interesting job to do. The role of the Lord Mayor is to be an ambassador for financial services for the year. It's a one-year position for each one. And as a result of that, you spend quite a lot of time travelling. I'll visit some 30 countries over 100 days, and we will be promoting London as a financial centre. Telling people, maybe explaining to them what's been happening in recent years, talking to them about particular aspects like insurance and law, which are very well practiced here. We're a great centre for maritime law, for maritime services, and for many countries.
It's a port city.
Because it's a port city, yes, yes.
So in that capacity also you're going to visit Mongolia?
We're coming to Mongolia because we are very interested in the financial markets there, and we're very interested in supporting those markets, and indeed finding investors who may want to come and invest in Mongolia, and indeed helping Mongolian entities that may want to come and find new sources of funds, say out of London.
So the London Stock Exchange, which is on your territory as well,
Yeah.
not very far from here,
Yeah.
they have been working with the Mongolian Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
And we have that technical infrastructure they have in Mongolia. And I hope with your trip and the other businesses coming to the country, we will have also as vibrant, as close as a London Stock Exchange. And certainly this year is the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations of two countries.
Yes, that's very exciting.
And so
I
that's
think the
what-
British were the first to have a well, certainly 50 years ago, the first to have an embassy there in Mongolia.
Yes, that's why we very much, it's very important
Yes.
anniversary for Mongolia.
Yes.
So we will be looking forward to see you and your delegation to Mongolia.
We're looking forward to coming very much indeed. I think there's always been a huge interest in Mongolia. It has rather a romantic place in people's hearts and minds, and the stories that we learn as children about Mongolia are also rather positive. So I've never been before. I've been to China many times. I've not been to Mongolia, and I'm looking forward to coming very much indeed.
I would like to be as some financial hub like you do in between two big neighbors we have.
Well, I think that's a very reasonable ambition, but I think we have a lot that we can offer in terms of experience about governance, about regulation, about the rule of law, about listing procedures, about the most effective trading platforms to use. Much of which is of course being talked about by the London Stock Exchange. But I think we are very keen to impart, because in the long run, your development, the development of Mongolia as a financial centre, will directly can relate very well to London as a financial centre. And always when it comes to trading between markets, 2 + 2 = more than 4. So it's something we are very keen to try and promote.
You know, well, obviously this conversation is happening when we are taking off or saying goodbye to one of the most important leaders of our century, Margaret Thatcher. Well, how you would see her role for the city of London?
Margaret Thatcher was remarkable for her ability to see a long way in the future, I think. She was, from the city's point of view, she was essentially promoting deregulation and liberalisation. The immediate effects of that were quite dangerous. When the markets deregulated, they went slightly wild, and we had the big bang in 1986 and big crash in 1987. But over the last 15-20 years, you can see very clearly that London has hugely benefited as a result of this liberalisation effect. And really one can say that she was responsible for a lot of the attitude and a lot of the push that brought around that deregulation. And so I think the city has a huge debt of gratitude to her.
Well, that's why I think her legacy is an important lesson for many developing countries who is trying to make a governmentless.
So, as you know, we have Lady Thatcher's funeral on Wednesday, and it'll be a very big affair. It's a ceremonial funeral, which Her Majesty the Queen will attend. So it will be a marking of just the great contribution that she made to this country.
I wish, on behalf of our Mongolian audience, all the best to you, to your city of London, and we are looking forward to see you in Mongolia.
Looking forward to coming very much. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.